The NFL's tampering period started today. Vikings were a little bit slow, but they did make some moves. Let's talk about them. What is going on, everybody? Happy first day of the NFL's legal tampering period, which is still an incredibly stupid name for a time of the year, but it is what it is. I digress. Obviously, as we know, Vikings were a little bit slow starting off making some moves. A lot of Vikings fans up in arms over Kwesi, which we'll talk about. But I do remember, we do remember this is kind of how Kwesi kind of plays for agency, and we'll obviously we'll talk about some of these contracts that were signed and kind of. Again, I think there's a lot of contracts that I saw people sign that I'm just like, I'm happy the Vikings did not do this, but obviously we'll kind of get into some of those as we go throughout the show here. But overall, two signings as of right now, which we'll talk about throughout the show here. But overall, kind of an exciting start for teams all over the place. Vikings did lose a few contributors, which I'm also sure we'll talk about here. So
yeah.
Again, would we have liked things to move a little bit quicker? Would we have liked to see some more exciting moves kind of happen? Yes. But I mean, the number one thing I look at is after the Super Bowl, I was sold on Milton Williams. There's a negative percent chance that I would have been okay with giving him $26 million a year. So I don't know. I mean, look, I understand everyone's going to have a bunch of different opinions about all this type of stuff. I get it. Letting all the cornerbacks go, not really making any impact signings up till this point. But at the end of the day, there's still a ton of time. There's still names out there that I think we're going to like, and we have a legitimate shot at it, including Jonathan Allen being in the building. So look, I know people don't like to do this, but I really do just got to say, just breathe in, breathe out. We know how we Vikings fans can be. We're the same group of fans that took that Detroit reporters thing about Kevin O'Connell saying that Sam Darnold was the future and ran with it for 12 hours till he found out it was a bunch of BS. So patience, calm yourselves down. Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, dude. Man, exciting times. It's funny because I hop in here. I was trying to troll, and still kind of troll. Obviously, slow start. The Kwesi cooking thing. I made the thumbnail Kwesi cooking. I mean, a big part of that was about. It was coming in here and everybody knowing everybody was gonna cook Kwesi, and there's some moves he needs to make, but obviously, as everyone knows, like 20 minutes before popping on here, we actually make a very solid move and go get Ryan Kelly, obviously, and I had to go and change all the graphics because it's all set up. I had literally down here, because as you see it, the topics today, Kwesi cooking, Isaiah Rodgers, Ryan Kelly, Jonathan Allen, Sam Darnold giveaway. I literally had yes, Buddha Bolden down there. And I was ready to troll. But hey, know what? It's the night is young. I think all of us Viking fans didn't give Kwesi a chance yet. Obviously, there's a lot more moves that we do have to make moving forward here. But one thing I know, that's so funny. Had that. Dude, Dalton, you just stole my joke, bro. I had that lined up. You'll see. I had that lined up. But yeah, getting the non-Diddy Ryan Kelly was a big W for Kwesi so far today, at a time where most Viking fans were ready to boot Kwesi out of the building. And I think we can, and we'll dive into it, why we really, really like this Kelly signing in a bit here. But let's do some shout outs. Actually, before that, first, everybody, of course, another show, another card giveaway. Obviously, we got a bunch of cards here. JJ McCarthy's the official. I feel like it's fair to say. The future. I mean, we knew it was a future franchise quarterback, but now it feels like as soon as this year, Sam Darnold's gone, Daniel Jones hasn't been signed yet. If we were expecting to bring him in to really compete or anything like that, you feel like he'd already be here, things like that. So get your hashtag Skols in the comments to pick one of these cards if you win at the end of the show. All that good stuff. Let's do some shout outs here, though. We got JD in here right away. Skol me the fuck up, baby. Let's go, JD. My guy, we missed last Monday. I'm happy to be back here. Full of energy on this one, man. It's getting excited here. What's going on, Bleeding Purple? My dude. Nick Riley, what up from the W? Yeah, W get with Kelly. That's big. That is big. go into that in a second here. Obviously, we're going to probably go out of sync here. When we go down to these players like Isaiah Rodgers and Ryan Kelly, maybe we'll look at some PFF stuff, but I know we're just going to want to kind of throw it all out there in a row here. What up, Kinetic? Someone tell Crazy when we said let him cook, we didn't mean a Fisher Price easy bake oven. Yeah, luckily, he might be making his way out of that, but there is moves that need to be made. There's moves that need to be made. T-Bass in the building. What's up, dude? I've been wearing my leopard skin Speedos all day, waiting for the splash. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, George? Welcome in. Mark, my dude. Fire Quasi into the sun. No surprises here. No surprises here. Bob Sweet in the building. What up, my guy? Norris, let's go. Gary, let's go. My dude, sup, Skol mates. Darius Alexander. Rap sent me. Hey, appreciate my guy down here. Saw you in here too. Vocal Vike in the building. My dude, Darius Alexander. But appreciate you popping in, dude. Rap sent me. Let's talk Bradbury to the Panthers or Patriots for picks. They thirsty. That'll be interesting. I know. I don't even have time to really think of all the scenarios here. We'll get into that. Let me go down here so we can get in. Am I missing anybody? Am I missing? Yeah, get the hashtag Skols in here. Get the hashtag Skols.
Speaking of Gary, is this true?
Oh, it's your birthday?
Hell yeah, Gary. Happy birthday.
Gary, happy birthday. Well, let's see here. I mean, Gary, what kind of, all right, maybe think of the card you want, Gary. Think of a card that you want. Obviously, of course, I'm going to give you something for sure.
Gary, 25, cool, obviously. 25 has never looked so good.
Facts. Let's go. Me had 2 gummies during 1 bar. Hey, fed me up, man. I had 2 gummies. Hey, you must be feeling a little bit better after the Ryan Kelly. Yeah. Hey, let me know what card you want, Gary. Any Dallas Turner. I even got these patch Dallas Turners, green patch pulsars. Man, we got all kinds of stuff in here. Obviously, we'll get you whatever you want. Hey, what's up, Jen? What up? All right. Anyways, I think we got everybody. Yeah, we got Blackout Bundy in here. What's up, my dude? Steve, sup, everyone? What's going on, Steve? Should have known. I missed Steve. I saw Jen in here, though. Hey, what's going on, Ryan Peterson?
I heard the opposite. I thought I heard a lot of people say that guy that you guys signed wasn't that great, but
who's that? I didn't. Our O-line just got better. Yeah, he was kind of mid-tier for sure. Yo, Turner. Yeah, Turner. Okay, I got you. Anyway, so back to this. All right, I want to talk. Obviously, we can talk about Isaiah Rodgers, all those things. I just want to mention, I guess we'll just go into Ryan Kelly. We'll kind of go all over the board here. I'll kind of do some PFF stuff as we go down our little list here. But Ryan Kelly in general, obviously, you get a 4-time Pro Bowler, a guy that is known more for pass blocking, something we didn't have in Garrett Bradbury. I know people are talking about whether he's going to be a center or a guard, or are they going to switch him? I think no. I feel like you have to make him a center. It'd be dumb to you can't make him into a guard. He's a superior center to Bradbury. So bringing him in here would being a guard would make no sense. The biggest thing here that makes me feel like Quezi cooked on this is just the fact that I think a lot of us Viking fans felt like going into free agency, we were probably going to just settle with Garrett Bradbury as our center going into next season, and then we would try to go get some guards. But the fact that we did go get Ryan Kelly, and we are focusing on that center position, now we feel, and there's plenty of guards out there. Obviously, only a couple guards are even out of free agency so far. And if we go and fill at least one of the guard spots, I wouldn't be surprised now if you see Brando back at the left guard spot. But now it feels like you might have a completely revamped interior offensive line more than just like, I mean, at the very least, just a right guard position. So that's what I really like about Ryan Kelly is now it felt like that was the spot we were going to leave the same. And now you kind of opened up for like a whole revamped offensive line. Obviously, still got to go make some moves out here to make that happen. Right. But it definitely is like one of those low key things where it's like, okay, I see what you're doing here now. What's your thought on just the Ryan Kelly thing?
I mean, look, like again, like I said, I was preaching patience with this whole thing. We all know Quasi loves the day one late night signings. He's done those the past couple seasons. And it's look, if this is moving on from Bradbury, because I think I saw somewhere you can cut Bradbury and you can save about $3.2 million against the cap this year, and with how I'm sure how this contract for Kelly is going to be structured, you're probably you're probably not going to end up spending that much more if they did decide to move on from Bradbury. Look, like Bradbury was brought in here during the Spielman Zimmer regime when we had a run first offense, because that's what his skill set was, right? He was undersized, but he was quick, could get to the second level. In a pass first offense, it never really made sense. I mean, obviously we did extend him because the first year under with Kevin O'Connell, he did play relatively well, and I think that was a big reason why they did end up extending him. But just these last, I mean, then he had the back issues that year when he came back in the playoffs, was not very good. And then he struggled the last 2 years pretty mightily here. And he's a known weak spot on this team. So I just don't see a scenario in which you take a guy who has never played a single snap other than center in Ryan Kelly, and why you would mess around with bumping him to guard. He has to be your center. And just like you said, I mean, obviously everyone, like the big thing is now that we have Kelly, are we going to bring in Fries, his teammate? I really hope so. It sounds like we are in discussions with him. There's a lot of other teams that are interested as well. And as we've seen, is Kwesi going to pay the big bucks to go get a guy like that? I mean, it's been another forte of Kwesi, where it's not, look, he doesn't spend the money on the top tier guys, but he gets those guys who he thinks are about to finally hit their stride, and that's kind of what he did last year. Jonathan Grenard coming off one of his best seasons, and he signed him to a solid contract, and look what that turned into, right? But still not a top tier money at the position. So we'll see. I would love it if they did bring in Will Fries. I mean, obviously one of the top guards on the market. And kind of the first guy left in that top tier. But even if they don't, like, that's what we need to remember, is that there's still tier 2 of free agency, where there are still the Mekhi Bectons and the Tevin Jenkins of the world, as well as some others that you could bring in and they can solidify that position. Because for me, when I came into this, my thoughts were center and right guard. Look, Brandel near the end of the year started to struggle. I understand that. But I think it was his first season starting at guard. I personally think that he could step up. They signed him to, I believe, a 2 or 3 year contract last season. So he's still under contract. If they left him at left guard, got Ryan Kelly at center, then bring in a guy at right guard, I'm happy with that. Plus, there's still the draft where you can still get a solid guard as well. Get the best interior offensive lineman you can. Let them compete it out, and the best 3 win the job when you get into the regular season. But bringing in a 32-year-old who, yes, does have some injury history, but you wouldn't think you're going to take a 32-year-old center and try to square peg round hole him into a different position here. So I just think 100% this was a great signing by Kwesi. Took longer than a lot of us expected, and yes, again, it's a guy that's a little bit older, more of a value free agent for a guy of his age, but. The PFF stats look great. I mean, I believe he only gave up 18 pressures the last 2 seasons. So for this type of money, I think this is a really, really good signing. I mean, is it the splash that we were waiting for? No. But I mean, we all know Jonathan Allen is still in the building. We know there's interest in some of these other guards, and they're still out there for the taking. So I still expect moves to be made. And I understand that people are a little bit upset that Kwesi hasn't made a big splash move yet. But I mean, if you, like we talked about kind of at the outset, if you go through the list of all the guys that were signed, how many of those players would you have been comfortable shelling out that money for? Like, when you look at the list of everybody that we were talking about, like, are there names that you'd have been like, I'd have paid him that outside of DJ Reed? Because I would have paid, I would have paid DJ Reed. Is that actually legit?
I don't know. It's too evil, so I feel like too evil is legit with that.
I would
never know it's evil though. But he wouldn't say that if he actually wanted Rodgers.
What was that? Where was I at with that? Milton Williams. I was all in on Milton Williams. But again, like I said, $26 million. There's no way that any of us Vikings fans, if we paid Milton Williams $26 million a season, 4 years, 108, would have been happy with that, right? I mean, it's just, I don't know. I understand that, and I think a lot of the people that are really upset with how Kwesi has done this so far are the people that weren't Kwesi supporters to begin with. And I get it. We're pro Kwesi for the most part, and I understand it. You don't want to be too pro Kwesi because you do kind of want to, like, you got to be down the middle, especially when you do what we do. You got to be able to point out faults, which we have done in the past. But I think, yes, we have the money, but just because you have the money doesn't mean that you just go spending it just because, right? Just to get players that the fan base wants you to get. Like, you kind of have to measure risk versus reward with this money. And I think giving $26 million per year over 4 years, again, we don't know how the contract is structured yet, to a guy who, yes, had a solid Super Bowl, but and who has been a solid player, but 26 million for him just to me felt a little bit steep, right? Like, and then when it comes to corners, DJ Reed, I would have paid him 16 million per season. But you're looking at some of these other contracts. You're seeing 20 million, the 20 million range for Trevarius Ward and Carlton Davis. Where like then you look at a guy like Bynum, where if you pay, if you're able to get Bynum back at that number, does it sound like a lot just in a vacuum? Looking at a guy like Murphy, not Bynum, but looking at a guy like Murphy, like does it feel like in a vacuum like that's a lot of money? Sure, but it's a guy that already knows your defense, knows your system, and he's played well within that system. So why go out there and spend 20 million on a Trevarius Ward, Carlton Davis, a guy that doesn't know your defense, as opposed to a guy that does with Murphy? Again, remains to be seen what we do with Byron Murphy. It sounds like there are a lot of suitors, but to me, the fact that he hasn't been signed yet really does make me feel like we still have a solid chance to bring him back. So that's kind of a lot. I kind of gave all my thoughts there on a lot of this stuff, but again, I guess overall, my big thing is just let's not jump on Kwesi so quickly for not making any moves, because a lot of the passing that he's done so far, I'm okay with.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing, is just getting Kelly did kind of change the mood a little bit. Not even a little bit, I would say quite a bit. I think going into this stream, I think most people were ready to just like come in with their pitchforks, and even myself a little bit, because you want to get moving. Like, guys are gone. Like, the fact is I wasn't defensive tackle. We were always more on the side of like do that in the draft anyways. But the fact that we have Jonathan Allen, that would be a big one in my opinion for us. And the fact that he's in the building and there's a good chance we get him, I think that would be a big move for us. And it doesn't mean, I still think there's a good chance we should go grab that position in free agency or in the draft. But the thing that was worrying me is definitely the cornerback. Obviously you get Isaiah Rodgers, who honestly is like the perfect Kwesi free agent pickup. You get a guy who's literally 2 years ago, Byron Murphy Jr., you get him at 2 years, 15 million, 7.5 a year. And you do the same thing with Rodgers, and Rodgers comes in here with four seasons, 27 years old, has I'm going to bring up the PFF stuff, but I already he's never had less than a 70 PFF grade in coverage, has 2 years with 80 or at least 80 in coverage. Obviously played for the Eagles, won a Super Bowl, took that year off because he has a gambling problem. So we just have to take care of that. Luckily there's no sport books in Minnesota, but there is still DraftKings and other things like that. So you have to worry about that. But I do think it fits the mold of what Kwesi has done every single year as free agent and in free agency. And for all the people who want to hate Kwesi and whatever, and hey, don't get me wrong. Like, I was waiting for something. I was waiting for this to be super exciting, and to not really see any moves when you have all this money, makes you worried. Like, you got to go get these players. But the reality is Kwesi is cooked pretty much every offseason he can when it comes to the free agency, especially last year, and getting those type of guys, getting the Andrew Van Ginkels, getting the Blake Cashmans. And that's what Isaiah Rodgers feels like. And then you still get a guy like Ryan Kelly, who is definitely a big upgrade over Bradbury. I think all of us can agree on that. And yeah, it's only the first day. There's a lot of opportunities to go get other guys here, but I still am on team. Like, yeah, we need to go get at least one of these more well-named guards would be really nice. I am kind of worried, like, getting Rodgers is sweet, but cool. It's cool, but it's not good enough. Now it feels like you really need to go get Byron Murphy at this point. And I wish we would have got one of these other guys, I think. So I think that was like my thing coming into this stream was like, oh, you need to make some moves. Otherwise you're going to lose out on these positions. So it'll be interesting to see what the Vikings do there. But if we leave here and we get a Will Fries, we get a Jonathan Allen, we get a Ryan Kelly, that's huge in free agency itself. If we get Will Fries, like, you literally, like, you're good. You're feeling confident. Even with Bradbury there at left guard, you're feeling confident about your offensive line going into next season for sure. That's what we really wanted to make sure we got figured out in free agency. Jamie wanted Nate Hobbs. I don't even know who that is. But no, anyways, like, yeah, I don't know. It's just the cornerback is something that we're going to have to figure out. moving forward, I think, especially if you don't end up with Byron Murphy. And that's kind of this thing that is a real scare here moving forward. You get Jonathan Allen, and then maybe you feel a little bit more confident going cornerback in round 1 of the draft. And I would not be surprised at that point. But at this point, I think you are kind of hoping that we do get Murphy back. Otherwise, we're feeling like we have a much worse secondary than we did a year ago. So we'll see what happens.
And again, the fact that Murphy hasn't been signed yet makes me think, and maybe that's another thing. Like maybe the sides do want to make it work. Maybe there was an agreement that they were gonna kind of let the cornerback market play out, which all the top guys are off the board. So now Kwesi and Murphy's representation can sit down and be like, okay, now where do we think you fit in this group of top corners that was signed today, and then try to find an agreement and come to an agreement on a number and potentially sign the extension. I think that the Vikings have to be in play more than things are letting on, because we haven't heard a single word about any other teams that have been interested in Byron Murphy at this point, right?
Yeah.
Really, the only thing we have heard is that from Alec Lewis, the Vikings are still interested. He's a huge priority, but there are other suitors. And that's kind of all we've heard. We haven't heard of anybody else. So, which really makes me think that maybe it is something where they have a couple ideas. They want to see what they can get to come together. Maybe they want to decide how they structure their contracts, and they kind of start getting these deals done. Not 100% sure, but yeah, we definitely do still need to sign a corner. And the fact that we've let these other ones get out there without addressing that position yet really makes me think that there's a better chance than not that Byron Murphy comes back. And then, yeah, like Nick says here, there are plenty of good ones in the draft, though I would still like to see. I mean, I still would like to see Byron Murphy come back, because we don't know what Mekhi Blackman's going to be like coming off the injury. Isaiah Rodgers, again, unknown to us, really. I mean, looks solid overall, but he was kind of more of a backup reserve guy in Philly. And yeah, well, then I guess we'll kind of see how things go there. But I guess the big thing that we do got to take away from this day one, though, is we all were going to be pissed if this team didn't show that they wanted to address the interior offensive line. And this one signing at least shows you that they are working on it and they're trying, which makes me think that at least one or two more guard signings / draft picks are going to happen. Like the fact that they are actively.
Oh, we're not done yet.
Exactly. But
we barely even touched our cap space.
Right. But exactly. But that's the thing. Everybody's panicking and hitting the panic button. Like, oh, Kwesi doesn't know what he's doing. Fire him.
And again, we haven't been able to like really feel the room yet since the Ryan Kelly thing, but I think I'm assuming that probably eased some people, because that was a position you thought you were we just thought, okay, another year of Bradbury, so the fact that you make that move, I think definitely is like, oh, okay. Like, I didn't think you were actually going to go and do that, So I think that's going to like bring down things a little bit, but yeah, there's still moves.
All you got to do is you got to look at Twitter. You got to find the let Kwesi cook a guy and see if he's happy. Then you got to find that Zach guy who feels like, so he should be on watch by some people because he's always so depressed about Minnesota sports.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, actually.
Who really knows? But anyway, we're making deals, bringing people in. Hopefully, and as we all know, Kwesi loves the late day one signing, so I'm sure that there's still more. Anything else that you wanted to talk about? Because we should probably talk about in-house people that have left / been retained before we kind of move on to some of these other.
Just going in there. Obviously there's a big one on here. And like I said, I mean, we can always jump over some of these names.
I was going to get the smaller ones out of the way before we get into
Yeah. So smaller ones. I mean, smaller ones, obviously, Byron Murphy. We haven't been on here since we got Theo Jackson. We're feeling Theo Jackson, $6 million, right? Huh?
Are you talking about Cam Bynum or Byron Murphy?
I
get those two mixed up.
I know Cam Bynum. He's gone. $15 million a year, right? That was way over. When someone told me like 12 or 14, I was like, what? And he ends up for $15 million a year, way over what I thought. That's another thing. Like, these people are overpaying players. That's what day one's all about. It's about paying players. Sometimes you do have to go do that. Kwesi has been pretty good at being disciplined in that area. And I mean, it shows today. Obviously, you still wanted him to see him to do more moves, but that's a big one. In Byron Murphy, for that money, there's no question in my mind. I'm not paying that. I'm probably taking that gamble on Theo Jackson. You know how KOC and everybody else likes him. So I mean, that one makes sense. Obviously, you got Johnny Munt and Nick Mullins going over there to Jacksonville. not that big of a deal for us. Byron Murphy still, we've already mentioned him, but he's the big one that's still out there that we're hoping that we can somehow retain. Obviously, we're going to get into Sam Darnold in a bit here, but what is your thoughts on some of these guys that are moving out?
I think the one we haven't talked about yet that we did retain, Aaron Jones, came to an agreement on a 2-year extension yesterday. Was it 2 years, $20 million? With the way it was structured, I think he counts $4 million against the cap this year. And then let's say this year goes south, has a bad injury, ineffective. Next year, they're able to cut him with only $2 million dead, and you save $10 million on the cap. So another crazy Rob Brzezinski special here. I love having Aaron Jones back. But the big thing with Aaron Jones, he had a great season last year, obviously career highs in touches as well as yardage and all that type of stuff. But you still have to take advantage of this draft class. And that is something that I will say about Milton Williams as well. Kind of going back to that, just a little tangent. It's like, why spend all that money on Milton Williams when you could get a Jonathan Allen potentially, and then you still have this super deep defensive tackle class. So that just makes the most sense there. But yeah, going back to the running backs, like, I love Aaron Jones, love having him back here. But you do got to take some of the tread off the tires. You do got to take some of the snaps away from that he had last year, because he did play every game during the season. He did get dinged up a little bit. He did have to miss some times mid game. So you still got to take advantage of this running back class. There's going to be a lot of good ones you can get in the third and even down into the fifth round, where we have our picks after the first. If we trade back, get some more picks, that'd be great as well. But love having Aaron Jones back. I was very anti Najee Harris, so I like this one a lot better than getting Najee Harris. But yeah. Love Aaron Jones, but still got to find a way to add more running back talent to this room. And this is the draft to do it. But I do like them at least solidifying that spot. So where if you go into the draft and the guy you like isn't there, you don't need to reach and try to grab a running back. You can just kind of let one naturally fall to you if you find a way to if you find one that you do like. So I'm a huge fan of the Aaron Jones move. Again, very, very team friendly. For him, there's guaranteed money with it, or there's money in 2 years of it. And we have an easy out that's in 2026. If in case we believe so, Dan. But I guess outgoing players, nobody that I'm really surprised about. Remember, we were having the argument. Pat Jones did get over the $8 million a year that you didn't think he was gonna get kind of earlier on this season. So Pat Jones gone, obviously.
I forget if we were talking about for the Vikings or in general.
I think we were talking about in general. I'm pretty sure we were talking about it. If
anybody for the Vikings, I would not have definitely paid him that. And that's another example of like overpaying. Because that's what's weird. Like Pat Jones, like I liked him, but $10 million a year. I mean, I guess like maybe he could have broke out. I felt like he was on the field enough, I guess. I don't know. So it's interesting when you see these, like even Cam Bynum. Like I like Cam Bynum, but I didn't see like $15 million safety out of him or anything like that. So I think those are interesting to see those.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, but I guess, no outgoing players that I'm really surprised about, right? Like I was expecting Bynum to go get some money elsewhere. I was expecting Pat Jones to leave. Who else? Obviously Sam Darnold, Nick Mullins, Johnny Munt, both being gone. Not surprised or overly disappointed in either of those, really. So again, the players that Kwesi has let go, especially when it comes to compensatory pick formula for 2026, I definitely think that we kind of won there. Again, it's guys that got contracts that I wouldn't have been really comfortable paying in the first place. So,
well, that's what's going to be interesting is all the comp picks for these players getting paid 10 million, 15 million, whatever.
Right. And I'm sure we will make a big money splash signing at some point. But yeah, I'm just, I guess, outgoing players overall just kind of is what it is, right? I mean, now he's got to hope to get more incoming players, but yeah, I there's really nobody that I was expecting us to hold on to, that we let walk out the door.
Yeah, no, me neither. I guess Byron Murphy was probably the only one that we even felt like we should for sure retain. Like the Aaron Jones thing, like I thought they were going to bring him back. I wanted him back. Do I think 20 million to a year, even though, like you said, his guaranteed, depending on how he does this year, whatever, it could end up not being that big of a deal, but still was more money than I was expecting. Obviously, We had him for $7 million last year. I'm not surprised we had to pay him more because he technically had his best season last year. Doesn't mean we should. I 100%. I thought we'd have Aaron Jones, and I 100% think we definitely need to go get another running back in the draft. Outside of that, yeah, just kind of Byron Murphy. Now it just feels like we're in this corner where we kind of need him. And I think that's one thing that's kind of disappointing about the cornerback. Because going back to that is one of the things that we talked about going into the offseason is like, oh, we'll re-sign Byron Murphy, and then we'll go get another corner. And now we're sitting here with neither of it. And yeah, you might get something out of Rodgers, hopefully. But now you're sitting here like you just need Byron Murphy. So even when you bring him back, it still definitely feels like you still need a cornerback.
Right.
Like, I think I was hoping to be a little bit more secure going into the draft. And that's without Byron. That's with Byron Murphy. Without him, now it's easily your biggest positions in need, especially if you get Jonathan Allen. Yeah, and assuming you get a guard too.
Yeah, I mean, and there are other corner options as well once you get down to that next tier. I mean, you do have Asante Samuel Jr. that people have been talking about,
which could be worth taking a shot on.
I think he's like 26 or 27 years old.
Yeah, he's young.
And then I know Jeff Okuda's name came up today as a potential name to look out for. Again, a failed first round pick of the Lions, hasn't really been able to find his footing. But who better to really do that with than Brian Flores? And I know I saw Nick talk about Holland here, who it sounds like we're still in on him. It sounds like we were kind of one of the teams in a bidding war for him earlier. We'll see what comes of that. But you really do got to feel like if he comes here along with retaining Theo Jackson, it might spell the end for Harrison Smith. Not 100% sure. Obviously, nothing's really been announced on that front yet. But
Adam,
what's going on, Adam? But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Again, slower moving to the start to free agency, but letting go of the players that we really kind of thought we were going to let go of, and then kind of starting to let some of these guys trickle in here. And I'm sure there's still more moves to be made. So yeah, overall, again, this is the most exciting start to a team that finally has some money to spend, but I mean,
we're feeling good about Kelly in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I still we need to go get. Everyone's doing the fries jokes. It is interesting. Just bring it in. They're both Colts. Hey, I'm in on that. Like, go get a guard. I see Purple Persuasion right now. Says Darius. He's all in on Rouse for whatever reason. And I'm like, Darius Brando, Kelly, Rouse, O'Neal.
Yeah,
that doesn't sound that great to me.
Our left and right guard would both be tackle.
Yeah. No. No. We gotta go get a guard. You gotta go get a guard. Like Jenkins, Fries, one of the Becton, I don't care. You're going and grabbing one of these guards. That's going to be, we have money. We got money. We haven't spent a lot yet. We've only spent today, I don't know what it exactly will be against our cap, but I mean, 15, 16 million probably against our cap. So we definitely have money to go spend on a guy still. Maybe it's Jonathan Allen, but he's even going to be a decent price player, I think. He's not going to be asking the same money as Milton or anything like that. I don't know what it will be, but it's probably less than 20 million a year, I think.
For Jonathan Allen.
For Jonathan Allen.
I mean, I think you probably go back and look at that Grady Jarrett contract and
what was that again?
Figure it in somewhere around there.
I probably put him a little bit above because he's a couple years younger than Grady Jarrett, or I believe so, right?
No, I think they're the same age.
Oh, they're the same age.
Let's see, but I
don't hate Rouse, but I'm not ready to be like, put Rouse at guard and we're fixed.
3 years, $43.5 million with 28.5 guaranteed.
Yeah. What's the math on that?
Yeah.
Someone in the chat, you guys got calculators. What's that yearly? 43? That's
like
13, 14 million a year. Yeah, I'm cool with that. If you get Jonathan Allen for 15 mil a year, yeah, I'm cool with that.
And coming off some injuries too. I think he had a banged up shoulder last year, so
I agree, Nick. James Daniels came off of an injury, I believe. The Steelers guy, and he was playing really fucking well. Honestly.
So look, again, it did Kwesi. I mean, again, that's the type of stuff that Kwesi thinks about as well. That people need to remember is he might bring in 2 or 3 guys like that, just those guys that are on that kind of in that next tier down that played really well last year, and maybe this is kind of the start of their ascension because he could bring in a Will Fries and a Tevin Jenkins because he's still out there, or just maybe
bringing them both. Fuck it, screw Brandel.
Like there's going to be options where he could bring in 2 guards for the price of what it would have costed to get Trey Smith had he made it to free agency,
right?
Or even what 2 guards for what it could have eventually take to get Will Fries if we miss out on him. So. And that's why I get it. It's instant gratification. You want things now, but you do got to sit back and just kind of let these first couple days play out and see where we're at by Wednesday evening, Thursday morning, and really start to kind of assess how this free agency period is looking at that point. Like I get it. We're all sitting there scrolling Twitter when it's working. Thanks, Elon, for earlier today. That was a mess.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But all that, like, it's just everyone wants that now. They want to see those alerts pop up. They want to see something exciting happen. But hit the brakes. Calm down a little bit. We're going to start making moves. Everything's going to be okay. There's still plenty of players that we want that are out there and available to us that we are in conversations with, and it's reported on that we're still talking to those guys. So it's just...
Yeah. Well, I mean, getting Allen is huge because, going into free agency, it was kind of, for us anyways, speaking for us, was guard, figure out that offensive line, figure out cornerback, and like I said, go in the draft for defensive tackle and running back. We weren't really thinking, like, I never looked at Milton Williams as even a potential, like even a chance. And there wasn't really not very many people out there besides him until Jonathan Allen gets cut. And then immediately it was like, oh, that would be a good one. And now if we do get him, that's kind of like beating my expectations as far as that position goes. So if you leave this with Jonathan Allen and you got your offensive line figured out, then you're sitting pretty again, still going into the draft, I think. So I don't know. Solid. Still need to make some moves though. I get it. The cornerback thing is a real issue. I think you missed on the tier 1 guys, except for Byron Murphy. So you got to bring him back. It feels like if you miss on him, you're definitely going in with less experience. I know we talked about I'm cool with Asante Samuel. I know a lot of people would really like to try to bring him in. A lot of people don't.
To Byron Murphy, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we did that, that'd be great. And I feel good. Like, I like the Isaiah Rodgers. I think that was a really good signing. $7.5 million for a guy who's never been. I mean, we could probably get into actually some of those guys here in a second. Kind of look at the PFF stuff.
First things that Alec Lewis brought up is like, this is a guy who a lot of people compared it to the Grenard signing, to where it's like it's a guy that they think wasn't. I mean, obviously they had some other corners that they were starting.
I think Murphy signing is perfect for that.
If he gets a legitimate starting role, you might see him take off and thrive in that spot. So it's just someone that they're, and what, he was 25 years old, 26
27,
years old,
27.
So still a young corner. Kind of, who knows? This could be just like we were talking about with Byron Murphy, hitting his ascension point, hitting the point where his career is really going to take off if he's given a legitimate opportunity to start and get some snaps, which as of right now here, it's looking like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, 100%. And actually, let's jump into him a little bit here. Where's my... Boom. All right, I'm going to bring up some. I guess I go like that. All right, just kind of looking at some of his PFF stuff. Been in the league for 4 years, and you come down here. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen a lot of this because it was brought out. A lot of people had to post this right away because, I mean, this is good. Like, regardless, I mean, yeah, depending on how you feel about PFF, take it a grain of salt, whatever you want to do, but still gives you a number of how well this player has played. Last season, 73.2 overall, 83.4 in run defense, and then 70.5 in coverage. In 2022, the year before, he was out for a full season. That's another thing to point out. Last season, 2024, he was out for an entire season before then, which one thing it's probably tough to get right back into football shape, as well as, I forgot what to say with that part, but, in 2022, before the sports gambling thing, 82.1 on defense with 81.5 in coverage. And then, as you can see, I mentioned it earlier, he hasn't had under 871 at all in his career, had 84.7, obviously limited playing time that year. But since then, I mean, those are really, really good PFF grades for a guy you're paying $7.5 million and is coming off of a Super Bowl season on a Super Bowl team after being out for a year. So I think that is
Yeah.
definitely like it's like a perfect I mean, it's this exact Quasi type of player.
Yeah, and then Phil Mackey brought up a good point earlier that he was ranked sixth amongst all qualified corners last season in PFF man coverage grade. Again, however much you take PFF grades into account, it is what it is. But I mean, but that's still pretty damn good for a shorter guy like that. So I don't know.
Facts, Mark. Yeah, this was good. No, it was a good sign. This was, I mean, Quasi's done this ever since he's came in. Literally with, we said it with Byron already with Byron Murphy. We're at a point now, 2 years later, Byron Murphy is trying to get 20 million a year. Andrew Van Ginkel, which I'm still waiting for that extension, but 10 million. I mean, we got Andrew Van Ginkel for 10 million and he was a second team all pro. Like Quasi has cooked in this area. Like everyone, like you can say what you want to get about the draft, and he does have very fair criticism there, even though I do think a lot of that has to ride on Dallas Turner and JJ McCarthy and the future of them. But as far as free agency and being able to find value free agents and turn them into like contributing, not just contributing, but you're talking about Pro Bowl level talent, has been crazy. Like I don't know other teams in this area, but I can't imagine there's very many teams who have been able to do that the same way Quasi has. And this guy feels like that type of player. So I am excited for him, but you do really want to get at least Byron Murphy back here no matter what. Because it still kind of feels like a gamble, but hey, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Any more thoughts on that? I was going to bring up some R. Kelly stuff.
No, just again, don't go searching R. Kelly stuff. Who knows what you'll find. But overall, I mean, like you said, like people called it an underrated, sneaky good signing. That's really what it is. I mean, I especially, and you like the one thing that always, when you see a defensive guy signed, what really just gives me even more confidence is knowing that Brian Flores had some input on this. And I think ultimately was the one that had signed off on the move. So if Flores is in on it, if Flores okays it, and they decide to get it done, to me, it has to be a good move. And again, I mean, if this can be a Jonathan Gennard type signing where he's about to hit his stride, and you get him for 2 years, 15 million, when all these cornerbacks are getting 20 million a year, Quasi looks like a freaking genius in 2 years. So I love it.
He's done it multiple times. So we'll see. That's good. I mean, he's calculated in free agency. That's why even though the beginning was boring and you're hoping they do something, it's just like it is when it comes to Quasi, we trust. It's kind of a free agency thing. Yeah, you don't have to say it for draft, but so far in free agency, it's like it's kind of been that way and it's turned out really well.
And that's why there's a lot of people out there, like you do got to give him the benefit of the doubt because he hasn't shown to be a quick starter when it comes to free agency, but man, he's a good finisher.
Yeah, dude, he is. Dude, his finish game is on another level.
He gets it done. And again, so then, like in 2 years, if this guy ends up being an absolute stud, you can go back at all the people and be like, hey, remember when you were upset that Quasi's first signing was a no-name corner? Well, look at him now. Like it's just, I don't know. I think it's a good signing. I mean, is it splashy and exciting? No, but it's what Quasi does.
Either was any of Gennard was pretty. Gennard was probably our only one like somewhat splashy pickup last year.
But so that would be like, he still wasn't a guy that people had like
up to the top.
Guy day one.
Yeah. He was like a one, but Andrew Van Ginkel, like, come on, and Blake Cashman, like
two of the biggest value signings of the last 10 years, probably.
Yeah, Sam Darnold for 10 million, and now he's making 40 million a year, 33 million a year.
36, but I think it's 36.
Wasn't it 100? Is it 110 or 100.5?
110.
110. Okay.
It was like 36.
Yeah, I've seen reports all over the place. Yeah.
Which honestly, like, if we didn't have JJ McCarthy, getting Sam Darnold back for $36 million a year, I'm like, okay.
I probably would have done it. Yeah. If we didn't have JJ McCarthy, but luckily we do because now it saves $30 million.
Mm-hmm. That's the money that we were pissed off that we paid Kirk Cousins, and he was already in his 30s. You're talking about it. The Seahawks. We'll talk about him. We'll talk about it later. The Seahawks getting a 28-year-old quarterback coming off his best season. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I know, and it was obvious too. It was obvious when, as soon as Geno Smith got traded, it was like, I mean, we made a short and like committed to the fact that he was going to the Seahawks. Yeah.
Anyways, looking at Ryan Kelly, your 4-time Pro Bowl center, one, no more Bradbury, no more of that like relationship, and us keep kicking that can down the road. And I know everybody in here has got to be feeling, and that's why that's like that's what the biggest W to me is just the fact that we made a change there, and I said it before, which makes you feel like, oh, we can completely revamp this interior. It wasn't just fill in one spot on this interior. So it's going to be exciting to see what we go moving forward. Like everyone says, getting in order of fries, even though it's at this point it's a cliche for sure, but getting in order of fries with that would be great. But yeah, just looking back at his obviously 4-time Pro Bowler. Last season, more of a down season to his standards, I guess, but 67 on offense, but 71.9 pass blocker. Just a year ago, has his best season according to PFF, 77.2 overall and 78.3 pass blocking. Just and then obviously his rookie year was huge, but yeah, it's just big difference between getting him who excels in pass blocking again compared to a Bradbury who was not good in pass blocking but was more of a solid run blocking, and you get kind of both here with an emphasis in pass blocking. And like I said, man, it gives us an opportunity to really revamp this interior offensive line. And at this point, especially if you go get a stud running back in the draft, we're feeling pretty damn confident on offense with JJ
Yeah.
McCarthy under center here.
And we're not out here paying a bunch like the Bears. Like, yes, they're making some big moves, but they're
Would
trading
love
away
that.
draft picks.
Yogi.
They're trading away draft picks, and they're paying, and they're paying some of these older-ish centers or older-ish interior offensive linemen a lot of money as well. So value signings, man. Value signings that are going to be good. I mean, I know Kelly, I believe he has dealt with some injuries the last couple of seasons, but
yeah, bro, he looks mean. That's what we need. I know T-Bass agrees with that.
We need
yeah, we need
like that.
T-Bass likes that. Look at that. That dude looks like he ain't fucking around. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need. Bradbury, you want to see? Let's go look up Bradbury. Let's see the difference. See if I can even do this without. Oh, there we go. I should have brought it on a different screen, but man, they're making this. There we go. Look at that. You want that guy playing center, blocking 350-pound guys? Or do you want... Here, let me bring this back up. Oh my gosh. Oh, not even the same one. All right, this bit's taking too long. I'm backing out. But you all know what I'm saying. You want a guy that looks like Ryan Kelly and not a dude that's like Brian. Look at that. I mean, this dude ain't fucking around out here. Anyways, keeping on moving here. I don't know if anything else you have on R. Kelly here. Obviously, he's not the only R. Kelly that has a mugshot. What else you got?
I like it. I like this. Again, it just shows me that they're serious about improving the interior offensive line, and that's what I like.
He went to the Lions, unfortunately.
Detroit,
that's a part that hurts.
That makes me
16
sad.
million for him would have been fire. Yeah,
but
facts.
Anyway, yeah, Ryan Kelly, first, I guess, splash-ish, bigger signing, older, but
it's the smart signing that a lot of Viking fans didn't think we would go and do, I would guess. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, I didn't even think of that as an option, really, and that's huge. And you're paying, how much did the Bears pay Dahlman? 15 million?
A lot, yeah.
Something like that. The Bears they definitely not fucking around. But yeah, I don't know. That's a big one there. But I guess real quickly, talking about, obviously he's not even on our team yet, so this could just give us, giant blue balls. And Jonathan Allen leaves here without a contract. I know he's coming off of an injury, so we have to make sure that he passes a physical or whatever he's got to do. I think that's the only reason why he'd leave that, especially with all the money we have. That's the only reason why I think he'd leave. This feels like a move that if we get him, you're feeling pretty dang good. I think already a free agency with Ryan Kelly and just Jonathan Allen. Of course, I think we all agree we'd still want a guard here. But man, getting a big pass rushing type. I mean, obviously aged at this point a little bit. How old is he? 31?
I think so.
31, 30, 31. But still probably has a couple years left in the tank, and we just need something on that line that's different for now. And I think Yogi brought up Grant. Like that's why I really want to figure out the cornerback position, because I really want to go defensive interior early, and I was really hoping that we wouldn't be feeling bad about corner back. And maybe if we get Byron Murphy back by itself, and Kwesi Cooks with the Rodgers pick, then we might be all right there. Because getting that interior line, obviously we all know if the interior line is stacked and we get pressure on the quarterback, it makes the secondary, whoever, regardless of who out there's life's a lot easier.
And something that I think people are forgetting too is that Shaq Griffin is still out there and remains unsigned. So, I mean, and I think he's going to be a guy that's probably going to be looked at this weekend after, Wednesday, people are going to start signing these contracts. He's going to be like that third wave of free agency. So if you can't get another option in here, I'm sure that you'll be able to get him back at a pretty solid price as well.
Yeah. 100%.
So that is another thing to remember too.
Right. I mean, if you go into next
Murphy
season,
for sure.
Yeah, you would just end up you're pretty much swapping Rodgers with Stephon Gilmore, and then obviously Rodgers younger, all those things. You kind of make that swap. You get Blackman back. You get hopefully you get some increased playing time out of Nudie, and he becomes the guy. I think a lot of us.
That's another thing too. They like him a lot.
And yeah. So, I mean, if that happens, you might be feeling better about your cornerback position. But if you get Allen and you draft a defensive interior guy, you're feeling way better about your defensive interior, like way better. Like you're feeling great about that. I mean, if you're going into this next season, you got Jonathan Allen, you got one of those first round defensive interior, regardless if it's what's his face, Grant or Nolan.
Yep.
I know Harmon is also another guy that's like really going up there a lot. So if you end up with one of them, you got Jonathan Allen, and then you got Ryan Kelly. You go get a Fries, you go get a Jenkins, you get that interior offensive line. You're feeling pretty damn good there. Yeah, and that includes Byron Murphy on top of that.
Yeah, and then obviously Jonathan Allen last year, 63 overall or 63 pass rush grade. 3 sacks and 16 total pressures. So can still get after it. Not much of a run defender, but you'd be able to find a guy like that in the draft for sure. But you'd get yourself that impactful, at least more impactful than we have had defensive interior piece that you and I think we have been missing for years at this point.
We don't have a player like that at all.
Right. Redmond, and again, the fact that he's in the building, he hasn't left yet from what I kind of understand. Really makes you feel good that there's positive conversation here. Plus, it sounds like there was mutual interest when he came here. I mean, literally the first day of the tampering period, which he doesn't even need to wait for because he was cut. He could immediately sign tonight if he wanted to. But the fact that he got here right away, they're going through all this stuff. You really do feel like there is serious interest on both sides. And again, I'm going to call my shot. I think maybe not tonight, but I do think before he leaves the building, there will be a deal in place. I guess he'd leave the building tonight. I don't know. By tomorrow, there will be a deal in place for Jonathan Allen. I don't think he leaves Minnesota without a contract. That's me calling my shot. I think by tomorrow, Jonathan Allen is signed.
Let's go. I take Jonathan Allen and Jaron Reed, get the band back together. Facts. That's what and Will Fries and Ryan Kelly.
Hell yeah.
Fire. Hey, and again, everybody, we are giving away the Vikings rookie cards. Your picks, so get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video and subscribe like we always do. All of that good stuff. But get them hashtag Skols in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Delton told y'all earlier. Get them likes in. All right. So now we talk about the big one here, the big position that everybody cares about, and that is Sam Darnold, officially a Seattle Seahawk. we were never fooled by the 1 year, 2 year, 20 to $25 million talks at all. It made literally zero logical sense. I think a lot of people have seen once Geno Smith got the trade that it felt like the Seahawks were going to go after a guy like Sam Darnold. I felt pretty confident. I don't think it didn't really make sense for them to move on for him to go get like an Aaron Rodgers or something. And that's exactly what happened. He ends up making 36 million a year, 35 million a year, Baker Mayfield type of contract, which I'm glad for him. I wish it was in the AFC, but if there's a team for him to go to, I want the best for Sam Darnold. And obviously Seattle's one of the best organizations, especially as far as winning culture goes. So I'm glad to see him there. Obviously, he's down to just JSN as his wide receiver. They're going to have to figure that out without DK Metcalf there. I mean, obviously did they end up getting second for him?
For Metcalf? Yeah.
Yeah, so they do have a second round pick for him as well. So they can go get a wide receiver or whatever. But hey, good luck for Sam Darnold there. And it does kind of feel like, and I talked about it early, especially without Daniel Jones being signed yet or whatever. It feels like the reins are getting put in JJ McCarthy's hands moving forward here. And that's exactly what we want.
Speaking of calling shots, a little Brett Rippon at backup quarterback. It's kind of what we're going towards. But anyway,
hope not.
But yeah, as I said throughout the entire season, I mean, Sam Darnold, I do care, but I don't care how those last two games went. Sam Darnold has earned a fan in me for the rest of his time, except for when, of course, we play them this upcoming season. But I mean, that's kind of one of the things when people said like, "Oh, I don't even know if Darnold's going to get $30 million." I'm like, I said, I knew he was going to get at least 35 a year. So he ends up getting like 36 to 37 average per season. I don't think the structure of that deal is quite out yet, but good for Sam Darnold. Capitalized on a really good season. Honestly, a season that none of us expected. Gave us a lot of really cool moments. I mean, obviously, I just think back to early on in the season against Houston when he went out with like a little tweaked knee and he came back in and got a huge ovation from the fan base. I'm happy for him. And I said 100%, like, I mean, yeah, he could have probably gone to a better situation, but at the same time, like, go get your bag, man. And who knows? As people, like, maybe he's not going to be as good because like, I know their offensive line kind of struggles at times. I know that they don't have a lot of weapons for him right now. But at the end of the day, who knows? Maybe this last season with Kevin O'Connell was just what he needed to unlock what was missing. And maybe it wasn't the team around him. Maybe because Sam Darnold, there were times when we won games because of Sam Darnold, right? I mean, yes, he had a lot of talent around him, but there was times where he had to step up and make plays. And one of those big plays, which is probably what's on their front office's mind, was the game winner to Justin Jefferson, where he stepped up in the pocket and threw the absolute dart. Like I think Purple for the Win always says, like, you can't overlook this guy played well against me scouting, and he did play really, really, really well that day. 3 touchdowns plus, like I said, that game winner. So I don't know. I think the Seahawks. Again, I believe this is a similar contract to what they offered Geno, but you do got to remember Geno's 34 years old. They're getting a 27, 28-year-old quarterback coming off his best season. And the hopes are that if you do surround him with some better pieces, which we've seen what he can do with that last season was just the start. And he's finally hitting his stride, and his career is going to go on an upward trajectory from here. And to me, that's a better bet to make on a 27-year-old Sam Darnold than it is to make on a 34, 35-year-old Geno Smith. So happy for Sam Darnold. I'm happy that he was able to go out and get that bag. But yeah, we move on. We all kind of knew. I mean, we knew the talk about bringing him back, 1 year deal, short-term contract, yada, yada, yada. We knew all that was a bunch of BS. This is JJ McCarthy's football team, and I could not be more excited for the future. Keep getting him some offensive linemen. I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I think I'm glad we got Ryan Kelly. That made me feel a little bit better going into this. Now, but we still need a guard bad. There's a lot out there. That's like the one position that we haven't seen players just drop like flies. So that's that's important. And then Byron Murphy, that's one thing people say, like the fact that Byron Murphy hasn't done anything yet, like when does that make you feel like maybe he's not valued as high as maybe they think?
Maybe. I mean,
Like maybe
or
they're struggling to get like a 20, if he wants 20 mil, maybe they're
right.
struggling to get a $20 million
I mean,
deal. I'm sure
or
we have
maybe
an offer on the table that's less than 20 mil.
right. And if there's offers out there, maybe he is saying like, hey, let's see what. Maybe he went to the Vikings, said, here's the offers I have. Let's see what the cornerback market looks like after these top guys are signed, and then maybe we can come to an agreement somewhere in the middle
Yeah.
there. That's a possibility. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be really interesting. I mean, I'm honestly shocked that he's not signed yet. I mean, I thought we would have either re-signed him right away or he would have been at least. I thought at least we would have been hearing about teams that are interested, right? We haven't heard a single thing. So I don't know. But the longer that it goes on, the more I do agree with Nick that I'm pretty sure that he's going to end up being back here. And I've been an advocate for it since about halfway through the season. I know there were some ugly times throughout the year, but I mean, with how
I
things
mean,
were
at this
looking
point, you
now,
don't
you
got a
might think
choice. You got to go make that happen. Otherwise, we're going to have no cornerbacks. Well, we
I
have
agree with
some,
this.
but like not proven.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's what it's going to be too. I think Murphy's testing the water, but wants to come back. That's what it kind of feels like. It felt like we would have had a deal with him. We probably gave him a deal. Wants to go see what he can get out there. I would not be surprised if the Vikings ended up having the best deal for him. But you never know.
I think very similar to Daniel Jones, who's doing the same thing. Like I know what the Vikings have for me, but I want to go see what the culture. And I'm. It's weird that he hasn't decided yet, and it's also weird that the rest of the NFL world's waiting on this because I know Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I know it's like a big deal,
kind of a rumor, which seems odd to me because it's not like. I mean, it sounds like Rodgers going to the Steelers, and it doesn't sound like Daniel Jones is in consideration for the Steelers. I don't know. It's a whole weird thing, but to me, it's just shocking that it's taken this long for.
Yeah, I mean,
Daniel
he's probably. Because that's the thing. If it does come down between the Colts and us, like you gotta know that you're against JJ McCarthy. You gotta feel like, okay, if you want to start, like there's a chance that JJ McCarthy isn't 100% ready. If it ends up being some sort of training battle or training camp battle, maybe the Vikings even told him like, hey, like we're straight up going with JJ McCarthy. And then if you're going, I mean, if you're the Colts, like you gotta roll with Anthony Richardson. I don't think it's going to be some sort of training camp battle between them. I think Anthony Richardson's the guy. The thing with Anthony Richardson is you can feel confident that if he doesn't perform this year, he could be out. Like you could get benched, you could take over. Feels less likely with JJ McCarthy at this point.
Oh, for sure. Yep.
Obviously with us though, you got Kevin O'Connell. You still got like our organization that has, and
it's very similar to Darnold. Like, it's very similar to Darnold. Do you go for overall situation that's best for you, or do you go to take the money and a better chance to start? So he does kind of have that to weigh, but and I guess and it all kind of depends on what we offered him versus what the Colts. Like if the Colts are offering him multiple years and some good guaranteed money, then you probably go take that. If it's similar, yeah, I don't know. And who knows? Maybe that's what he's trying to decide. Like just sitting there looking at the roster that the Colts have and being like, if I went here and I started, is that better for my career than if I went to Minnesota and just stayed there? I don't really know. Hey, Skol Mafia. Thank you for the 490.
Hey, Skol Mafia. Bang, bang, Ryan. Oh, Skol Mafia. I know I've been keeping an eye on you today on Twitter. So you're liking the Ryan Kelly thing. I know you've been.
No, I don't think he loved my Cam Scatabo recommendation from yesterday.
Which I wasn't on train all the way. I like the idea from like, oh, they complement each other thing. But the thing is in my eyes, like this deal isn't like Aaron Jones is the future at this position. So well, he could be. I'm not confident in that. I like that he's a power guy or whatever. He did look like an absolute beast, but he is going to be a slower guy for sure. So I don't know. I mean, maybe he could be if he could end up being. I want a feature back. Like if we go get someone, like you're trying to get a guy that you think is going to be like a future at the position. And Scatabo could be, if you like, Scatabo would be perfect if Aaron Jones was like 27 and was on a 3 or 4 year deal. And then maybe who knows? Scatabo looked like a monster, but like the Toby Gerhart things, that hits too hard to home, to be honest.
Oh, wait, why is that? What about him and Toby Gerhart are similar?
They're both power backs.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
And they're both white. They're both white and power backs. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if we get Adam Thielen or Cooper Kupp, like, why? But no, I mean, I mean, of course, that's why you get the Toby Gerhart thing. But that's as Viking fans, like you go get this power back, running back, and then obviously it just ultimately doesn't work out. So I think there's a little bit of fear there. But who knows? Like I know you were a big fan of him. Maybe he comes in, he's an absolute baller, whatever, maybe. But as far as like, oh, I'm going to get him because I want to compliment Aaron, I don't think you go and try to compliment Aaron Jones, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I guess so. If you had
you
to pick
got
a running back that that you'd want on this team that would A, compliment Aaron Jones, but B, also potentially be like that guy.
What up, Dylan?
Going into the future, who would you be? Because I mean, obviously, I think with where you're drafting, I think I think Omarion Hampton, I think Trey Hendrick, and I think Travion Henderson. I think those two guys, and obviously Ashton Genty. I think those two guys are out for sure. But I still think that a Caleb Johnson, a Quinshon Judkins, or maybe some of those other, like, again, a guy I really like, you could probably get in the 5th round, Jarquez Hunter might be a good addition there. But I think you could still find yourself with a Judkins or Caleb Johnson type to complement him well.
I mean,
if you end up being your feature back going forward,
I would take them two over Scadaboo for sure. I'm feeling better about them too. And Judkins, I'm really liking him. I think he had a really good combine. Obviously, I think we haven't even been able to talk about the combine because we weren't here. But even Caleb Johnson, Evan Neal saw. I mean, I still love myself some RJ Harvey, but obviously you're talking definitely not a compliment thing at all with Aaron Jones. But I just think people are sleeping on RJ Harvey hard. It blows my mind. I could be completely wrong, but I'm telling you this. I think he's gonna be stud. I'm going to be holding on to that. Tootin, I like him. Obviously, you add the speed thing with him.
Like you've said a lot, it's not like we need to like find a compliment back. Like if we have two similar types of running backs,
Aaron Jones is 30
years old. Years after Jones leaves, then you're probably then it doesn't really matter.
I'm not looking for a compliment. You go get whoever you think is going to be the future at running back, you go get that player. I don't care if they compliment Aaron Jones or not. If it does, great. Like a Judkins, you are like a Henderson. Like Henderson wouldn't be a compliment back to Aaron Jones, but if he's there, not in the first round, but if he's there, you have an opportunity to go draft him. Like, yeah, you go do that. But Judkins, Caleb Johnson, obviously Hampton, those are guys that you could grab that I think could be a future at the position and then also be a compliment to Aaron Jones at the same time. Harvey would not be really that, but I think Harvey is going to be the best running back available around round 3 or something. Man, some people have him going round 5, and I think it blows my mind. And if he's there around 5, like you're picking him no matter what. Best show I've ever seen from my last.
We didn't have a show last week, Gary. What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? That we're better when we're not here?
He knows that. He knows that because he texts me. Yeah, LeQuint. I like LeQuint too. He's a sleeper. Like that's another guy that could be out there in the 5th round, maybe potentially. There's so many running backs in here. Like you're gonna get some 3rd round talent in the 5th round.
Yeah, and I was a fan of Kyle Monungai as well, the Rutgers kid. Again, I think he's a guy you could probably easily get, like if you trade back in the 5th round or trade back in the 6th or 7th. I think he'll still be available there. But yeah, he definitely did show some flashes as well. I know injured a lot. Yeah, some injuries he dealt with last year. But
Harvey's did. I'm telling y'all right now. We'll come back here whether he's a Viking or not, and you'll see that Harvey is a extremely successful running back in this league. Hey guys, new to the show. Hey, appreciate you popping. And how would you both feel about trading our first for Sauce Gardner? That's toughy. That's a toughie. I mean, he's worth it.
He is going to cost a lot soon, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he signed an extension.
I probably would do it. Yet, is he? I like Dylan Sampson too. I'd put Dylan Sampson in that role of someone that you could pair up with Aaron Jones.
Wait, did he sign? That's got to be his rookie deal, I would guess, right?
Yeah, he's still got to be on his rookie deal, right? This past year was his 3rd year or 2nd year.
3rd
year.
He's going into the final year of his
next year's first. Yeah, I'd rather do next year's first. I'd do next year's first. No one gives a fuck about next year's first, right? I definitely don't think Kwesi actually does pretty good at holding on to his 1st round picks though. 3rd year, yeah. Man, I mean, I probably would be I probably would do that. My heart's so set on a defensive interior guy right now.
Yeah.
But at this point, if we don't got Byron
Back.
Murphy and if we get Jonathan Allen and we have no Byron Murphy, then you probably do go that direction, I guess. I wouldn't hate it. If we did that, I'd be like, all right, well, our corners are set. But yeah, dude, the running back class is stacked. I'm excited for that. I wish it does kind of feel like a year where you wish you had a lot more picks, because you could pick even with Aaron Jones. Like at this point, you feel like you shouldn't go 2 running backs, but if you had just a bunch of picks and you're like, this is the best player available, though, I mean, I would still probably do it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Anything else?
The thing
About
is, we should
day one free agency.
right
that we
about
missed
now.
out
About
on?
time we got rid of Grim Teach. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll get him. What'd you say?
I said anything else on day one free agency?
First round pick for a guy going into a big contract year. Well, I mean, I guess this would be, yeah, because this would be his 4th year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're also, see, that's the thing though. It's like, yeah, that's true. It
We got
depends.
the
He
money.
kind of had a down year-ish kind of, but at the same time, you're talking about, it's tough, man. You can't, like, elite corners don't grow on trees. You could draft, we've done it ourselves. We've drafted 3 first-round cornerbacks, and none of them of our last 3 first-round cornerbacks didn't do shit at all. So it's like, I don't know, just because a guy like first round, I honestly think draft picks are valuable, but they are overvalued a lot of the times because not often are you hitting on these picks.
Yeah. And Dan, this is one I kind of agree with. Like, everywhere has him like UDFA or like maybe a 7th round pick. The little bit that I watched a lot of some of his game, and I saw a lot that I liked. I saw a lot of good out of the backfield. I thought he had a couple nice some nice runs. I thought he had some decent speed. I don't know. I think he's one of those guys you could probably get an undrafted free agency, and he might turn into something. But I liked what I saw, and I mean, yeah, and he's got a cool nickname. They call him the Don. I like that.
The thing I liked about him was his patience. I mentioned that before. Like out of any of the running backs I've seen, he seemed to let like the
Basically,
plays and
Kamara.
holes to develop.
I like Donovan Edwards a lot. I think that's a guy that if you're gonna take a swing at late,
he's kind of just to me.
That's why I said if you take a swing at him late, I'd be down. But I mean, because
I'd be down.
He's split time every year of his career, which is that an indictment on him? Maybe, but still, I don't know. I liked him. What I saw,
he looked. I liked definitely some things about him for sure. Hit them likes, and that's the thing I was gonna say about Sauce too. Is like he just kind of had this last year felt kind of like a down year for him. Like his hype from his rookie season has kind of came down quite a bit. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, everybody, about to do this giveaway. Obviously, a bunch of Viking rookie cards. Your choice for if you win. So get those hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you have not already. All that good stuff. But get them hashtag Skols in the comments. About to do this giveaway. But yeah, no, I'm excited for all of that. But yeah, still free agency here. I don't know, man. At this point, we kind of feel like we really just need to go get a guard here.
Yep, for sure.
That's crazy. One bar and up against 9 hours streamed in the book. Officially the biggest day in show history. Appreciate everyone who hopped on. Now let's go get Will Fries. Yeah, that's crazy. Those guys put one in today. A whole shift. More than a shift. The worst
thing for them is there was no big Vikings signings.
Yeah, until the end.
Yeah.
Until towards the end.
Yeah.
I feel Jen waiting tonight. Hey, let's see. Let me bring this up here.
Here's hoping Jonathan Allen, Will Fries get done. Things I do for Chase Young, though. Yeah, hopefully it's another one of those where I wake up in the morning, see those Twitter alerts that Jonathan Allen was signed, and I can go to work happy.
All right, everybody. Hashtag Skol for your chance to win the cards. I'm going to start picking out. Obviously, if you've never been here before, we pick 5 names. The 5 names make it to the duck race. Whoever wins the duck race gets their choice of any of these Viking cards. Let's jump in here. Boom. With the first one being, you got to be here to win. Make it to the next round. Gary. I mean, it's his birthday. Why not? It's his birthday. Why not? It wouldn't be the first time it's been someone's birthday and they won.
I don't know. Does it include Facebook? People that hashtag Skol on Facebook or no?
I believe so. I think it does. Did it go up? Yeah, it went up. I think it does. I'm pretty sure it does. I think you're good.
And if it doesn't, hop onto our YouTube anyway. Hit that subscribe button.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, definitely hop over to YouTube if you can, man. Appreciate it. Let's keep on going. Yeah, we got 19 entries now. I think we got some other people in here, though. All right, keep on rolling. Boom. We got. See if we see your name in here. Oh, there you are. So you are in here. FT Matty. FT Matty's in here. He's in here. He's always in here.
I think I can find our YouTube.
I'll keep going. FT, let us know. What we got? What we got? Boom. Aaron. First time in. First beginner's luck over here.
Hell yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. 3 more names. 3 more names making the next round. 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Grab the link, and that's the link to our YouTube right there. If you want to check that
Skol
out.
Mafia. I saw you in here, Skol Mafia. Have we heard from FT yet?
We've not. Yep, he's here.
Okay. Skol Mafia, let us know. You're in here. You got to be in here. Hey, appreciate you, Aaron. There we go. All right. FT Maddie. All right, last one. Last one, make it to the duck race. See what we got. And it is Dylan Dotson. I don't know. Dylan, are you still in here?
You better not have left us, man.
It's been a minute. It has been a minute. Dylan, let us know. It's a duck race. Oh, Aaron, you will see. You will see.
Oh, Dylan is here, but go Nuggets.
Go Nuggets.
I think we got to go. I think we got to find someone else.
Oh, Dylan's not here? All right. Nah. Dopest dude, Dylan Dotson. We got all 5 names. Let me bring this over here. I'm actually going to put a different screen share up because I don't like that one. We'll just go window. There we go. All right. We got the names here. We got Gary, Aaron, Skol Mafia, FT Madden, and Dylan Dotson. 45 seconds on the clock. Winner gets their choice of a card, setting it. I guess we kind of definitely know our future at quarterback now. Or what's Ryan Kelly's number? Does it say 78? Oh, that's going to take a minute. I forgot. Centers have large numbers. All right. So 9 for JJ McCarthy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
It's a nice.
We got Mermaid Dart.
Nice little mix. It's a nice little mix.
We got a nice little mix here. All right. Let's get it. 3, 2, 1. All right, with Dylan Dotson, his Mermaid taking the early lead. Let's go. Let's go. We got Gary in second, FT Matty in third, Skol Mafia fourth, Aaron hanging out in the back. Did I forget? Oh, no, I got it. I was like, did I forget an A? Did Jamie say centers have large
numbers? But he might have. He's thinking the other.
I mean, they might too.
I'm sure they do.
All right, we got him back. Skol Mafia's coming back. Everybody's coming back. This is where things get interesting. Aaron's moving. FT Maddie's moving. Oh, Aaron's going to take it his first time on the show. Aaron is going to take it his first time on the show. That is actually crazy. Beginner's luck for sure on that one. All right, Aaron. So you get to choose a card you want. We got JJ McCarthy rookie cards. We got Dallas Turner rookie cards. We've got Will Riker rookie cards. We got Justin Jefferson's silver prisms. We've got I even got I have a Kyrie Jackson in here actually. Aaron, let us know what kind of player you're looking for on the Vikings. All rookie cards. I don't have any Justin. Do I? I don't have any Justin Jefferson rookie cards, but I mean JJ McCarthy, the future at the position. Let us know what you're feeling. Merry Christmas. Let me see. I mean, let me get a Justin Jefferson. I don't know anything about NFL cards. I will tell you that JJ McCarthy rookie card has the best chance of being more money in the future if that sways you. Otherwise, I can give you a Justin Jefferson card. Sweet. Yep, I got you. Here, I'll get you what is that? All right, cool. We'll give you the Justin Jefferson. I'll take McCarthy. All right, I'll give you the JJ McCarthy Prism. I mean, anything JJ McCarthy in any cards right now is going to be the best. Quarterbacks are just worth more. Rookie cards, obviously, JJ McCarthy, if he turns into a stud, there'd be some real value there. Now I got it. Oh yeah, facts. Me too. Me too. By the way, actually, here, I'm gonna put our email in here so you can send us a good mailing address to send this card. So just hit us with an email, all that good stuff, and I'll get that card out to you right away.
All right. Well, anyway, that is day one, our day one of legal tampering / free agency live stream. Vikings did make 2 signings, Isaiah Rodgers as well as Ryan Kelly, bringing in a corner and a center. Let's hope we're not done. I remember 2 years ago, I think we hopped on here. We either made a video or did a live stream and then got off. And then an hour later, not even, they had made a couple other signings. Hopefully we're in for one of those kind of nights where we do see a couple more signings. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll try our best to keep Twitter updated, maybe toss out a couple shorts on players that we signed this week. So make sure to keep an eye out for those. But otherwise, we'll see you guys back here next Monday. Thanks for watching.
Let's go Vikes.